Hi and welcome to this new video, and in this video we're going to go a little bit next level because I'm going to depart from flight training for beginners, and we can probably call this flight training for someone who's looking for something really quite hard. So what we're going to cover in this video is flying backwards circuits with a mini quad. Now make no mistake, this is going to look really easy when I do it. When you come to try to do it yourself, you're going to find that actually it's not very easy at all, and there will be a lot of crashes. But stick with it, because if you can pull this maneuver off at the field, it's very impressive. For anyone watching a line of sight flight, if you do a backwards circuit with your quad or a backwards figure eight with your quad, the guys watching it are going to look at it and think to themselves, man, I can't do that. I definitely can't do that. Most FPV flyers really struggle with line of sight flying. If you can pull this maneuver off, you're next level as far as mini quad flying is concerned. Okay, so let's get into this. How do we do backward circuits with a mini quad? Well, when you fly a circuit forwards, you'll remember from the early videos where we were looking at flight training, I was saying, and this was in FPV, I was showing this, I was saying, okay, when you make a left turn, then both sticks go together, right? And then when you make a right turn, both sticks go together, yeah, because we roll and yaw in order to make a turn with a mini quad. Now when you're flying backwards, a whole different set of rules apply. And when you're flying backwards, in order to coordinate the turn, the sticks either have to go together like this or apart, depending on which circuit you're doing. So if you're doing a clockwise backwards circuit, the sticks go together, and if you're doing an anti-clockwise backwards circuit, the sticks go apart. And that effectively is all you need to know in order to fly a backwards circuit. There are a couple of kind of how do you get out of it when it's all going wrong type tips. One of those is that if it's going all wrong, normally the escape maneuver is to push forwards on the pitch stick, because you're flying backwards, so you'll have been pulling backwards in order to increase your speed. If it looks like you're going in the ground, the way you flatten your quad out is by pushing forwards. So pushing forwards is normally your escape maneuver to get out of things going wrong. It's a simulator, so it doesn't matter how many times you crash, but what I would advise it is the first time you go down the field and you try and fly backward circuits with your real quad, just be sure that you have absolutely nailed it on the simulator, because when backwards flying goes wrong, believe me, it goes really wrong. Okay, so let's get into this. So let's take our quad off, and I'll warn you now, the first time that you turn your quad and decide to fly off backwards like this, it's going to feel really weird. Really weird. It may even turn your stomach over. It just feels so strange to fly a model backwards for the first time. So what I'm doing here is I'm just controlling my speed by pushing forwards on the stick a little bit. I'm doing most of the turning. I've banked the model already, so I'm doing most of the turning on my yaw stick at the moment, just pushing the yaw towards the middle, and I'm just flattening the quad out occasionally by pushing forwards just to reduce my speed. Okay, so that's the clockwise, so let's now switch this around and do the anti-clockwise backwards circuit. So now we're pulling the sticks apart in order to fly the circuit. Again, I just push forwards a little bit to flatten the quad out when I need to, just to make sure I don't go into the ground. So there's always just a little bit of pushing forwards going on, just to control my speed and stop that quad from going into the ground. And it's just pushing the sticks apart very slightly. Whoa. go into flying it like this, backwards, and then we'll switch here and go into a lazy 8. Effectively, so now we're doing lazy 8s backwards. Okay, and that's it. So this is absolutely a practice manoeuvre. I warn you, you're going to find it really difficult, really strange, really hard, like nothing you've ever tried to do before. But just remember the simple principles involved here, which is it sticks together for your clockwise, sticks apart for your anti-clockwise, pushing forwards just to control your speed. If you need to increase your speed, pull backwards, and the escape manoeuvre, if it's going wrong, is stick forward. And if you follow those rules, you should relatively quickly start getting into being able to fly a backward circuit. But as I say, I warn you now, this is not an easy manoeuvre. It's not easy to learn, and it feels really weird the first time you try and fly it. But if you can nail this, it's pretty impressive at the field. Okay, that's it, and I'll see you on the next video.